y'all, it's Hannah, and welcome back to my channel, or hi, hello if you're new here. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Hannah. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out me and my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm really excited because I'm going to be going over a whole drugstore starter kit for makeup. I get a ton of requests and just a ton of questions about what products are really good from the drugstore, just different things like that. So I thought for today's video I would show y'all my favorite drugstore products. All of these are from the drugstore. Well, there are two products in this video that are drugstore prices, but they're not available at a drugstore, but they're still available at stores that are easy to access. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into this video. Alright, so I'm going to start off this video with the order that I do my makeup in. So the very first thing that I always do is I apply my primer. This is from e.l.f. This is their Matte Oil Control Primer. This really does a really good job at keeping my face matte throughout the day. It also does a really good job at controlling the oil on my T-zone. I really focus this product mostly there. I have very oily skin, especially a very oily T-zone. So it is really beneficial for me to find a primer that is going to keep me matte all day. Matte is keeping you not looking shiny. I hate looking shiny and greasy, and I've never really found a good drugstore primer that works for me until I was introduced to this one. This one's just in a pink package. I've tried other primers from e.l.f. I've tried the ones that are in the little pump bottles. They kind of look like glass bottles, but they're actually plastic. I was not the biggest fan of those primers. I didn't feel like they really worked for my skin. This is the only one that I have found from e.l.f. and from the drugstore in general that I feel like does a really good job at keeping me matte. I like to apply this first, just to kind of let it sink into my skin and really just sink in there and get mattifying and work like it's supposed to. So that is why I always recommend doing your primer first, giving your skin some time to just kind of absorb the product and just really sink in there, and the longer that it kind of sinks in, the more grippiness that it's going to have. It also kind of has a sticky consistency to it, so that does a really good job at making sure that foundation clings onto the skin and that the foundation lasts all day long. So if you're in the market for a really good mattifying long wearing primer, I definitely recommend checking out the e.l.f. mattifying oil-free primer. Alright, and then the next category that I go into is for brows. I like to use a brow pomade because I feel like it lasts a lot longer. I do my makeup pretty much every single day, and I go through a ton of eyebrow pencils. Now, if you want a really good eyebrow pencil from the drugstore, I recommend the NYX one. It is, I believe it's called the Wonder Pencil or something like that. It's a really good dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, because it does a really good job at kind of making your brows look like they have microbladed and just really natural. But I like to use the brow pomade because I kind of like to do like a feathery look to my brows. This is from Milani, and this is just their eyebrow pomade. This is in the shade 01 Soft Brown. They have a ton of different shades to choose from. It comes in a little glass jar and it lasts a super long time. This is a very smooth, very creamy, very easy to work with pomade. It's not super pigmented, which is why I like it, because it's really easy to build up and to really easily draw on your eyebrows and to mimic little hairs into your brows. My brows are actually very sparse through the center and through the tail, so that is why I like to use a pomade. This also comes with a little brush. I don't really like the brush that it comes with. I normally just use my own little eyebrow brush that I already had, but this is a really good eyebrow pomade. It doesn't claim to be waterproof. However, I can verify that it is because this is sweat proof. I have sweated with this on and my brows did not budge. They stayed in place. So again, if you're in the market for a really good eyebrow pomade, check out the Milani one. So I think this would be a really good eyeshadow palette, especially if you're a beginner. This is the Makeup Revolution Reloaded Iconic Fever Eyeshadow Palette. I like this particular palette from Makeup Revolution because this is very fallish, and it's also very winterish as well. You've got a really good mixture of some mattes and some shimmers in here. They are all neutral toned, so you can create a very simple, very neutral eye look for school or for work, or you could create something that's super smoky and very fallish and wintry just for evening wear. I think this is a good palette for beginners because the shadows in here are very pigmented, but they're not overly pigmented where they're very easy to work with. Some of the shadows in here, some of the lighter shades you do kind of have to build up, but I feel like for a beginner that's not bad because I feel like when you're a beginner, it's not always the greatest to have a super pigmented palette because it's very easy to go overboard. So this is a very good palette to have if you're a beginner and you're just learning how to blend out shadows. Plus, too, the shadows blend out really nicely into each other because they're very smooth, very powdery, formulated shadows. However, they do have a lot of fallout and they do have a lot of powder kick up in the pan. So that is why I recommend doing your eyeshadow first before you go in with your face makeup, because the Revolution shadows do have a ton of fallout. So be sure to do your eyeshadow first. But with that being said, though, it is not a bad palette, and these only retail for, I believe, about $8 or $9 at Ulta or Target. That is the two places that you can pick up Makeup Revolution. Each palette has 15 shades that are like this, which are not bad. And if you want something different, they have a ton of different palettes in a ton of different price ranges. I just really recommend these little ones right here because, one, they're very little, so they're easy to travel with, and two, they are very beginner friendly. So I really like this a lot, and I believe that you will too. For mascara, I have the Essence. This is their Lash Princess False Effect Mascara. Now, they have different versions of this mascara. They have one that comes in a purple and black tube. They have one that comes in a blue and a black tube. That one is the waterproof. I forget what the purple and the black one's supposed to be, but the green and the black, which is the one that I have, this is the False Effect Lash Mascara. So this gives you super long, very, very voluminized lashes. Bailey Sarian here on YouTube, if you watch her makeup murder mystery videos that she does here over on YouTube, she really likes this mascara, and she uses mascara all the time in her tutorials. Even though she doesn't talk about the products that she uses in her tutorials, you can tell that it is this mascara because I always see this little handle right here, and she obviously really likes it because she's always using it, and she has talked about it over on Instagram. So I really like this mascara as well because, like I said, it just gives you such a voluminized lashes, especially if you don't want to wear false lashes, which I know a lot of people who are beginning with makeup normally don't. It has a very, very skinny wand, and the bristles are very short, and normally I don't like a mascara wand that is like that. I normally like a more curved wand. But however, this formula right here, this wand works really well with this formulation. It gets every single one of your lashes. It just makes your lashes just look so pretty and just so voluminized. It is a very watery consistency mascara. I have to say this is a little bit better once it does kind of dry out. But I still really like the mascara, and the price tag of this mascara is not bad either because it's only $4. You can pick this up at Target or Ulta. For eyeliner, I have two different options. The first option is the LA Colors. This is their audio liners. This is in the shade of white. I use this every single day. I like to use white eyeliner or a nude eyeliner in my waterline just to kind of make me look more bright-eyed and more awake and refreshed. This one is only $1, and you can pick this up at any Family Dollar retail store. So, again, this is very inexpensive. It is super pigmented, very creamy. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't flake. It stays in the waterline all day long, which is why I really like this eyeliner. I'm really impressed with the quality of this for $1 because normally dollar eyeliners are not the greatest. However, this one's really good, and it's retractable, meaning that you don't have to sharpen it. Do not use the ones that are like the wooden pencils. Those suck and they just scratch and they just irritate your eye. I definitely recommend getting the eyeliners that are in the retractable form. And then if you want to maybe just kind of branch out and you want to try something a little bit different, I like the Maybelline Lasting Drama eyeliners. The reason why I say if you want to try something different is because these have really fun, colorful liners in their line. I have this one in the shade Gold, and this is just what it looks like. I also wear this one on an everyday basis as well, because even though it's gold, it's a subtle gold, so it doesn't look super bright and super intense. It still looks really nice and really natural in the waterline. In fact, this actually pairs really nicely with this Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. This in the waterline, and this, oh, it is a dream come true. It is so pretty. So I really like this one. It is a metallic, but it doesn't have glitter in it, so it's not going to irritate your eye or anything like that. And again, it is a retractable eyeliner, which is what we love. We love a good retractable eyeliner. So this retails for about $7. Very smooth, very creamy. In fact, the formula is very spot on and replicating to the LA Colors. So if for whatever reason you just cannot spend $7 or $8 on a retractable liner and all you have is $1, keep that in mind. The LA Colors is kind of like a duplicate to these Maybelline. Alright, so I skipped on talking about false lashes because I just did a video a week ago all about false eyelashes and how to apply them, and I talked about in that video some of my favorite lash brands. I actually have a lot of favorite indie brands. That means that those are brands that aren't sold in like retail stores that I really like that have affordable lashes, and I talked all about that in that video, so I'll have that linked down below in the description box if you want to check that out. So I am going to skip about talking about false eyelashes in this specific video, since I already did a whole video last week about false lashes. So now I'm going to hop into foundation. So I have a ton of foundations in my collection that I think would be really good for a beginner. Kind of depends on what you are looking for in a good foundation. If you want something that's got a light to medium coverage, if you want something that's got a medium to full coverage. So I thought that I would just talk about my current favorite foundation. This is from Dollar General. This is their Believe Beauty foundation. This is their Skin Finish foundation. This is only $5, and it gives you such a beautiful airbrush skin finished look. I absolutely love this foundation. It is a super full coverage foundation, but your skin still looks like skin. It doesn't look like you have a layer of foundation on over the top of your face. It just looks super nice and super natural. The reason that I like the fact that it is a skin finish, this is more of a satin rather than a matte, so it's not a full-on a luminous foundation. A luminous is something that's super glowy. I'm very oily, so I don't like anything that's like super glowy unless it's a highlighter. So I normally stay away from foundations that are glowy. However, I like a satin finish because a satin kind of has the best of both worlds. It's a little bit matte, but it's a little bit glowy, but it's not overly glowy. It looks very natural and very subtle on the skin. So that's the reason why I like this foundation. It's also full coverage, so one pump gets the job done. One pump does my entire face, and as you probably can tell on camera, it looks super flawless. I love it because it looks really good on camera. It looks really good in person. So if you go to work, you go to school, if you have anything coming up that you want to look super good for, but you don't want to spend a lot of money on a foundation and you need something that's going to look good in photos and something that's going to look really good in just natural wear, check this out. I'm promising you, it's only $5. They have such an amazing shade range. If you can't find your shade at a local Dollar General, they do have a ton of shades on their website. So what I'll actually do is just have their website linked down below in the description box. I am not sponsored by them by any way, shape, or form. I just really enjoy their foundation. I have the shade of Linen, and I feel like it's a really good match for me. But they have tons of shades, so be sure to get your right shade. But that right there is my current favorite, my holy grail. I absolutely love it. Depending on what you're looking for concealer, I have two different options. So if you're like me and you don't really have a lot of dark circles to begin with, but you just want just a little bit brightened under eye, I really recommend this NYX HD Studio Perfecting Concealer. This is just what it looks like. I have mine in the shade Fair. I like this because it has a very tiny applicator, which is very different compared to a lot of the concealers today, because it's very trendy right now to have a very big applicator, because everybody thinks that they need a ton of concealer when in all retrospect, you actually don't. So I like the fact that it has a very tiny applicator because it applies just a very tiny amount of product, which is really all that I need. It is a very light to medium coverage concealer. I can build this up if I need to. Again, I don't really feel like I need a lot of concealer, so I normally don't build this up to begin with, but this is a really good one. If you just want something light, very natural, you just kind of want to do a little bit brightening, but you don't really want a lot of coverage, I definitely recommend checking this one out. I believe this one's only $6, and I got this at Walmart. That was the cheapest place that I found. Cheapest place that I found this concealer at. So definitely check this out there. If you want something that is full coverage and very extreme, and if you also have a lot of blemishes on your skin that you need to conceal, then I definitely recommend this one. This is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. I recommend the regular matte version for concealing your pimples. I have not tried the hydrating one, so I don't know if that one is good or not, but it has a giant applicator, which I don't really like. I don't understand this trend, but what I'll do is just kind of dot a little bit onto the back of my hand. I'll take a little brush and I'll just kind of conceal my blemishes and blend it out and everything. Sometimes I'll even use my finger just to tap it out, or I'll use my sponge. It just kind of depends, but this is a really good concealer for covering up blemishes, and if you have super dark under eye circles and you really need to control them bad boys, this does a really good job at doing that as well. However, you do have to set this very quickly because it will crease. Now, the next one, I probably should have mentioned this. You don't have to be as quick with setting this one because it won't really crease as bad on you, but this one, however, will. You have to set this one in place immediately, or else it will just go crazy with the creasing on the under eye area. Alright, let's talk about my favorite setting powder. This is the Heart Candy Translucent Loose Sheer Envious Setting Powder, and this is just what it looks like. I really like this for setting the under eye area because it's a thick powder, so it does a really good job at setting that under eye concealer in place, but it doesn't feel super heavy, which is why I really like this powder as well. It also gives your skin kind of just a nice finish. I set my T-zone with this palette, or with this powder, and it doesn't look super heavy and it's super cakey, which is why I like this powder. It doesn't have a bad white cast either, because sometimes with these translucent powders, they'll leave such a very, very bad white cast look, like you'll just kind of look like a ghost, and you'll look like Flashback Mary, and that's just not cute. That's just not the look that you want to go for. So I really recommend this one from Heart Candy. It's only $5. Comes in this big container, and I have a ton of this powder in a drawer over here off to the side. I stockpile on this powder all the time. Anytime that I'm placing an order off of Walmart.com, I always order another powder, and I'll just tuck it away in my drawer because I never want to run out of this powder. This is so good. Does an amazing job, like I said, at setting that under eye concealer, keeping you matte, keeping you oil free throughout the day. I don't have to touch up as often if I use this powder. In fact, I don't even carry a powder compact anymore in my purse because this does a really good job at keeping me matte. So if you need a really good loose powder from the drugstore, you don't want to spend a lot of money, definitely check out the Heart Candy Loose Powder. Okay, so this next product that I'm going to talk about, this is a cult favorite here on YouTube, and I can understand why. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I have the original bronzer shade. This is just what it looks like. It smells like coconuts and happiness and the beach. Oh, it just takes me back. I freaking love the smell of this, and this is just what it looks like. This is a really nice, smooth, buttery powder. I don't know what type of products or ingredients that they use for this bronzer, but this does an amazing job at really blending out onto the skin. This is very pricey. This is $15, but it is a big bronzer. It is kind of pigmented, so you do need to use this with a light hand, but on the other hand, too, because it is so pigmented, you're not going to use a ton of it. So you're not going to go through this as quickly. I've had this bronzer for a while now, and I mean, I've made a dent in it, but I am nowhere near about to finish this up or anything like that. I really like the way that it blends out onto the skin because it does have a nice buttery formula to it. You don't have to take a really long time to blend it out. It just, I mean, it really blends itself into the skin. It gives you just like a really pretty sun-kissed look. So I really recommend this one. Another thing too that is very different about this bronzer is this is also a satin finish bronzer, so it's not an illuminating bronzer, meaning that it doesn't have glitter or anything like that in it, but it's also not a full-on matte bronzer. It is a satin finish, so it looks very natural and just very skin-like on the skin. I'm also wearing this today, and I really like the way that this looks. I think it's a really pretty product. It's a really good bronzer. I can understand why a lot of people love it because the formula is just so smooth, so buttery, so easy to blend. So if you're in the market for a really good bronzer from the drugstore, I definitely recommend this one. I know it's a lot of money, but trust me, it is so worth every single penny that you're going to spend on it. Alright, next up is blush. And for blush, I have this e.l.f. blush. This is in the shade Shy. This retails for $2, and this is a really nice blush. It's also a satin finish, meaning that it's not super matte, but it's not super glowy either. It looks very nice, very neutral, and very natural on the skin. I'm also wearing this today. It's just a nice, really pink color. It's kind of like a neutral pink, so it's really, really pretty, especially if you have super fair skin like I do. Now, they have a ton of shades to choose from. They have a really pretty wine color on their website that is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm kind of debating on if I want to pick that one up or not, but again, these are only $2, and they're not bad. They're not super pigmented. You do have to build these up, but again, I feel like if you're a beginner with makeup, that's really good because blush is also something that's very easy to go ham with and go very, very overboard with. So if you need to or if you want to build this up, it is very, very easy to do so. I feel like with this product, you really can't go too ham with it because it is a very nice and very lightly pigmented product. So if you're in the market for a really good drugstore blush, I definitely recommend the e.l.f. blushes. Now we're moving on to highlighter. Highlighter is probably one of my favorite things when it comes to makeup. I just love it. It is so pretty. It is just so glowy. So I have two options for you. I have a super glowy option, and then I have a very neutral, very natural option. So let's talk about the more natural option first. This is from Essence, and this is their Pure Nude highlighter. I freaking love this highlighter. First off, it just gives you such a really pretty lit from within look. I'm wearing it right now on the high points of my cheekbones, and it just looks very subtle and very natural for every day. It is a very soft, very smooth powder to work with. It looks like a baked product in the pan, and normally baked products are something that can be very trying to work with. Sometimes they can be very chalky. They're not super pigmented. A lot of the time baked products can be very patchy with their application. But I don't know if this is a baked highlighter because it doesn't really say. But it's a very different formula than most baked products if this is a baked product, which I don't think it is because it doesn't claim to be one, but who knows. I really like this. You can pick this up at Ulta for only $4. So again, you cannot beat it with the price. It's very affordable, very easy, and very pretty to use. Very perfect for every day, for work, for school, just whatever. And then if you want something that is super bam, in your face, super glowy, definitely check out the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighters. This one's in the shade Blossom Glow. Now this is actually a dupe. The formula, not the color, for the Becca highlighters because the formula is the exact same consistency. It's kind of a cream, but it's also powdery. So it's kind of like a cream to powder product, but it doesn't claim to be a cream product. If what I'm saying makes sense. If you've ever felt a Becca highlighter, or if you have a Becca highlighter in your collection from Sephora, then you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Just that formula and that texture, this feels exactly like that. So I really like this because it's super, super glowy. It's super pigmented. I really like this for evening wear or just any type of a look that I want a super bold, super out there highlight. This also is a really pretty inner corner highlighter. And again, this is only $4. So what I would recommend doing, if I was you, I can't tell you how to spend your money. I can't tell you what to do. I think I would buy the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. By the way, they have tons of shade options online. I don't know if they do in store or not because I haven't been to an Ulta in quite some time, but I'm sure they probably do. They have other shade options if this one doesn't work for you. So they have tons for deeper skin, medium skin, etc. They also have a cosmic line as well where they have like some crazy color highlighters. So what I would do is probably buy this one just as an everyday highlight, and then I would also buy this one for inner corner or just really special occasions, but definitely for inner corner because I promise you this is such a really, really pretty inner corner highlight. It is absolutely beautiful. Another thing that I like about this highlight too is that it kind of has a pinky shift to it, like in the pan and when you swatch it, but when you put it on the skin, it doesn't really look pinky. It just looks super glowy. So I really like this highlight. This is one of my favorites. So that is my highlight recommendations. Then the last product, I know a lot of people probably are not wearing these as often out in public because of everything that's going on with having to wear a face mask. It just doesn't work wearing a lip product, but I love lip products. I have a ton of lip products, and I still wear my makeup around the house. I don't really go anywhere hardly these days, but I still do my makeup just because it makes me happy and it's something that I enjoy doing. And, I'm still rocking my lipstick at home. So I wanted to talk about my favorite lip products from the drugstore, so that is what we're going to be doing it now. So the very first product that I'm going to talk about are liquid lipsticks. These are my favorite liquid lipsticks from the drugstore because they're very comfortable to wear. They don't feel heavy. They don't feel super drying. They just look very nice, but they stay all day on the lips. This is a NYX Lip Lingerie liquid lipstick. This is in the shade 21. Now, these are not named. They're just numbered, and it is a really pretty deep brick red color. It is what I have on my lips right now. This is what I've been wearing throughout the video. I really like these liquid lipsticks. They're very comfortable to wear. They last all day long. They stay in place. They don't smudge. The applicator makes it really easy to apply to your lips as well because it is kind of a thin sponge tip applicator, so it kind of has a slight curve to it, but it's not a super curve, and it's also a flat tip, so it makes applying that product just very precise, and the kind of smallness to the tip of the applicator makes it really easy to line and then fill in your lips as well. These do not feather outside of your lip line. I found with the Wet n Wild Mega Catsuit liquid lipsticks, as much as I really love that red one, it just feathers out of your lip line really badly when you are applying it, and it's really hard to line and fill in your lips at the same time, and these are just a lot easier to do that with because these are a very thin formula, whereas the Wet n Wild liquid lipsticks are a very thick formula, and they're also super drying on the lips as well, and these are not nowhere near as drying on the lips as the Wet n Wild. These are definitely a few dollars more. I believe these are about $7 or $8, maybe $9, but honestly, it's worth it because they're very, very comfortable to wear on the lips, and especially with Halloween coming up, they have some crazy colors in their line, so they got a lot of colors to choose from. So if red's not your thing, they have a ton of nudes, they have a ton of pinks, they have some bright colorful colors as well, so I definitely recommend checking out this brand of liquid lipstick. Now, if you want just a regular bullet lipstick, I really like the CoverGirl lipsticks. I know a lot of people don't like CoverGirl products in general. A lot of their products are very big misses for me. I like their lipsticks. I like their matte Made foundation. That's a really good foundation. But as far as anything else from the line, it's kind of just, like, it's not the greatest. I like this, though. This is in the shade Streaker. This is just probably one of my most used nude lipsticks because it's just a really pretty cool toned nude. This is what it looks like. I'm not a fan of the smell because it kind of reminds me of, we call them here in the States Smarties. I know a lot of different people in a lot of different countries and states, etc. They call these candies different things. They're little candies that they kind of look like pills, and they come in those little plastic wrappers. They actually got banned when I was a kid in elementary school because I remember one year at a Halloween party, we had these passed out to us, and a bunch of kids decided that it would be a really good idea to try to crush these up and snort these up their nose. So after that, our school banned them. They also banned them from the Valentine's Day parties because they tried to do the same thing again. And I also really wasn't allowed to eat these a whole lot when I was a kid because they were really small, and my mom was always really worried that me or my brother would like suck them down our windpipe and we would choke on them. So it just reminds me of that, and I don't really like Smarties. I feel like they're kind of like eating chalk. Once I got older and started to rebel, I didn't really like them. I didn't really feel like I was missing out on anything because to me, they just tasted like chalk and they smell horrible. And to me, these lipsticks smell horrible because they smell like Smarties, but that's just my personal opinion. But this is a matte finish lipstick, but it stays super smooth and very creamy on the lips. It does wear off pretty easy like a normal lipstick does. So the staying power of this is not super impressive, but the color is really nice, and I do really like the color, and I like the overall finish. So that's why I like these lipsticks. But other than that, though, I don't really particularly like the smell. I wish that they would redo these. And then my very last lip product that I had to talk about is a lip gloss. So I tried to cover my bases with a regular lipstick and a liquid lipstick and a gloss option for whichever you prefer. I really like these. These are from Makeup Geek, and this is their Healthy Lip Gloss. The reason that I like this is because it's very moisturizing on the lips. It has a lot of different butters in it and this lip gloss that is formulated in it, which makes it super moisturizing on the lips, which is why it's called the Healthy Gloss. I really like the color as well. It is a really nice, really pretty nude color. I also like the applicator because it is a teardrop sponge tip applicator. It has a curve to it, so it makes applying the lip gloss a lot more easier. This is a thin formula gloss, but it does feel super thick on the lips. Which I don't mind, but I feel like some people probably are going to mind. So if you don't like a thicker, heavier feeling lip gloss, you might want to skimp on this product. But I do really like the color because it's just a really pretty nude color. This is in the shade Creamsicle Delight. And I really like the moisturizing benefits to this lip gloss as well. Another thing too is that this does not have any type of glitter in it. So I hate a lip gloss that has glitter in it because it just feels so grainy and it feels like you have sand or it feels like you have crust just all over your lips, and it just feels super uncomfortable. This doesn't have glitter in it, but it still looks super glossy and super wet looking without all that glitter and shine, which is why I really like it. It doesn't last a super long time. It lasts about a typical lip gloss will do. However, this is just a really pretty color, and I really think that you would like this if you would give this a try. You can pick this up at most Targets, and you can also pick this up off of makeupgeek.com. Alright everyone, so that is it for my drugstore recommendations. I really hope that you all did enjoy this video. If you did, then please give this video a big thumbs up down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're down there as well, because I'm uploading new videos every Thursdays, Saturdays, and Mondays at 6 or 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also give me a follow over on social media if you want to, so that you can keep up with me, you can keep tabs on me, and you can keep a lookout when I post and upload new videos. videos. If you would like to see a makeup for beginners video, let me know down in the comments below. I would do a full face of a makeup tutorial. So it would be a pretty long tutorial because I would be teaching you along the way. But let me know if that would be something that you would be interested in seeing, because I'm definitely thinking about doing it. And so yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in Thursday's video. Bye, my little unicorns.